just put it sideways.
No, we'll bring it back.
Bring it forward.
Yes. So when you bring up, you can see the ceiling instead to see yourself. But when you bring the phone up a little down a little bit.
Down.
Yes. Can you see?
No, but then you can see the computer. Cool, that's fine. Okay, let's go. Welcome back to the Rubasha Family Podcast. We're here for another episode. And interesting things happen in life and events all around the world. So I was talking to Dad and we were talking about this thing of inferiority, racism. So what do I mean by that? Well, we're looking at this whole Trump situation, Donald Trump situation, with the South African president. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And a lot of people on the Rubasha Family Podcast, we've had that video getting a significant amount of views, and people commenting on it in support. So, we just got a recent comment in support of what Trump is doing to help the people there. So yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on what happened in the Oval Office. That was a huge event this week, and that's what I love. We can talk about events that happen out in the world and bring it into conversation. So yeah, Dad, I wanted to get your thoughts. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, always happy when you get opportunity to come to share, our view. So that's why this technology has done good work. Every time, wherever you are, you can come express what you have in your mind. And that is how the world is. At least now, everywhere you are, you can see the news in your hands. It's amazing time to do. Even now, I can sit here instead to keep what I have in my mind. Now I can share with you, and it's amazing. So for me, as I say, the history and the powerful countries and the poor mind of other countries is still keep going from slavery time, colonial times. It's a form of change. So the modern slavery is changing because they use more powerful, the economy is there. See, if somebody is power, he can do whatever he wants to do. You see, and that is part of bullying. That's part of the system. And when you see the president of one country, big country, he invites another president and he tells people, oh, can you put on? And when he put on, he sees some things happening in his own country. You wonder, why does he need to do that first place? So the question, why did Trump needed to show that things people on the world? Why? It's a form of marketing by putting South Africa down. Why does he need to do that if you bring the president of another country to visit you and then you show something in front of the whole world? Of course, those things people have been watching them anyway. Those guys, they're not hiding what they say because they put it on social media. So, but why that day he bring the president of South Africa to show in front of media, to show in front there? There is no diplomacy there. That is discussing. That is no disrespect somebody. That's what Trump did. You don't respect somebody, your visitor, say, look, sit here, can you watch something like that? Look, what are they doing there? And he want to show the public in America, oh look, this South African, they are killing our white people. Which white people white killing them there? So that is what we try to bring. And what they do there is just to bring attention. So now they go to create, oh, there is genocide for white people. So now they have to know how they go to protect them. They know there is the issue there. There is the issue of land in South Africa. Why did the 1% they take the whole land? That is still colonization.
Wait, say that again.
They're in 1%
Who's
of the
one?
population.
Oh,
White
so white people are 1%
Yes,
of the population. Really?
yes, something like that. It's less. They are not majority. They are not but they have majority land. All this land. Who give them those land? People they say they need compensation. They need to distribute. They need to do some things about the land issues there. But no, they don't want that. They want to create some things there. That is still colonization in South Africa. So other places at least they done away, but they still interfere in their business, in their economy. So the supremacy in power and politics is still there, especially because of our economics power. People need to change for themselves in their mind. African, we have poor mind. It's the same like those other Asian countries, maybe poor mind. You'll be always following somebody else in the full step. Only country which shows has strong mind, shows to American thing is China. In the last 30 years, China did a work everybody could understand. What they did, they changed their mind. They work. They change their mind, they work. Now with technology, it's easy. You don't need to wait 30 or 50 years to create anything. But look how it become. When you look at the history, where China was like 30 years ago, in manufacturing, cars, anything there, it was behind for everything.
China.
Yes. Yes. Look the data. China was behind for everything compared to Europe. But you can't now. UK, you can't compare what China does in the UK. Even Europe, they were nothing there. They were told America is going to be there. America is losing away for everything. The only way the things is China, they don't want to be number one. Naturally, they don't want to be the super world. They don't want that. But they already surpassed America completely long time ago. Only thing they have their own culture, their own people to respect them because of their language, because how they market their own thinking there. But actually, in real life, China is economic superpower than America. When you look at the numbers, they build like 30 biggest airport.
30.
Yes, in the last 30 years. Like Africa, even to build one airport, it's a hell.
Wait, they built 30 airports
International.
in China.
In China. They used to have like airline, but they have like maybe 10 or 30.
Why do you think China are so advanced? Why
They use their mind.
everywhere they go, they
Yes.
build. Why?
Yeah, because it's how they use their mind. Everybody do that, but them they do it in big scale. Everybody go places big. When you go everywhere, you find everybody there, but they go with the discipline to work. They go the desire to work. They change their mind. That's what I'm saying is, the white people always they use their power of mind.
White people.
Yes, that is why they're successful. That's why all invention is start from there, because they know that secret. See, never go to teach them this thing 1900 years ago. They know the power of mind to create, to invent everything. You have to use your mind. That is why they bring visa from everywhere people to come to invest there. Because the mind which have been created this whole technology, most you found, they could be white, but their background is different countries. There is Western European, there is Arabs, there is Jewish, there is a lot of, there is Indian, there is Pakistan, there is a lot of mind which is based in America, which they be able to create, but always they take the names, they're the one who invented it, because they put money on it. But that's the good things they do. You give them idea, they put money on it, and then created. They have the power of mind. So now, what they did, they have to go to Asia. Now Asia manufactures everything. See, everything you go to look here, it could be made Singapore, China, Malaysia, everything. There's nothing good to found here we are doing there made in Africa or anywhere. No.
Usually everything made in China.
Yes. So now Africa, what do? We consume. So we are consumer. So the white, they are invention, the Asian, they are hacking, and the us, we are consumer. That's how the world work now.
And also Indians also are similar to the Chinese as well.
Yes.
Why?
Because also they have that power in mind for a long time ago as making, but not invention. Always. So that also they've been colonized. So when you be colonized, because you are weak in mind.
So colonization is not force, guns that came in?
It was also gain. It was gun.
Yeah.
Yes. But other people you fight. They gun because there's many ways you fight. But later they fight without using gun.
Who, Indians?
Yes. That's how they end colonization. One man, Gandhi, he said, no, this can't continue. He's the only person who was poor. He never have arms. He never have anything. He assembled 1 million of people to demonstrate peaceful. 1 million of people. The Facebook wasn't there. Nothing was there. Gandhi, he was the poorest person, individual who put the British down. Read his story. He bring 1 million of people to get rid of British. Without money, without no gun. That is how they went. But they took everything, whatever they can get from India.
I heard even the British, when they went there, they saw that they were very smart as well. So when they went to go to other places, they would take the Indians with them.
Yes, so again, that's how the power of mind. Yeah. So you could be smart, you could be intelligent, you could be have money, but you can have poor mind. So when you have poor mind, you're going to be colonized. Somebody going to be work on you because you don't know how to do it.
China wasn't colonized?
No.
Did they try colonizing?
Yeah, they tried.
They tried?
Yes. British attacked them.
Really?
Yes.
The British tried.
They attacked them. You know, Hong Kong, they took it.
They came and took Hong Kong?
Yes. But later, they negotiate. See, that's what China, they're so smart. So they negotiate with Hong Kong. They had it for 50 years.
The British?
Yes. So for 50 years, Hong Kong was British territory. But it was an agreement. Now the other day, 50 years finished, they take it, they give it back to China.
They gave them back?
Yeah, even Macau was the same.
Wow.
Yeah. See, the British, they invaded everywhere.
Yeah, they went everywhere.
They went everywhere. They fought everywhere. They fight.
And Arab?
Yeah, that's what you see. Everything's everywhere in Lebanon, in Gaza. So all is because of them. They were everywhere.
Oh, so the British went to Lebanon, they went to Gaza?
Yes, everywhere they were there.
They didn't colonize there though?
No, but they give like French. So you remember they divided. All European they divided. Even Arabs country they divided. French they took some, the other British, everybody was divided. They will take whatever they want to take. And then they can sell somebody land to another land. It's like things their own.
But my thing is like, how do they have that mind to, like, why were they the only ones, the British and thing, the only ones to go, like,
Yeah, they were all together, even the French, they
yeah,
were
but
doing things.
why the Europeans, why were they the only ones to go around and start? But no, because there was, like, for example, there were, in America, there was already black people, the indigenous people in the land.
So that's what I'm saying, they came, they found you have weak mind. Because that is how, it's the same how they came to Africa. So, poor mind is somebody say, look, I'm better than you. Say, oh, okay. Otherwise, if you've been strong enough, you could not have done it. They could not have done it.
But if also people come with weapons, and then
It's not about weapons. Like I'm saying, Gandhi later fight them without a weapon.
And then they said it.
Lebanese fighting in Gaza, no even weapon. Because it's a war of mind. Yes, there's a way to fight a war of mind. But that's how it is. But you see what Trump can do, something there. Of course, that thing there, because the president of South Africa, he could say many things there. You ambush a diplomat, you put him embarrassing from everything there. You show him something which nothing to do with him. If there's a people get killed, there should be security, police. There's other department should be dealing with that. And he bringing like somebody, like a child.
He called him in for, it was supposed to be a trade meeting.
Yes.
And he came and he bought that.
Yes. So that what it now. So America, they are desperate.
They're desperate.
Yeah, they are desperate. They know China is moving faster away than anything. They don't know what to do. So they try to bring these trade things there. There's nothing else they go to do. They try to see how they can stop China to continue. They will not go to stop China to grow anyway.
So do you think why he did the tariff thing?
Yes, there's no other way. He tried to do anything there, but it doesn't work. China is exporting electric cars. Number one in the world.
Exporting electric cars?
Yes. Even America is not even closer to them. How they go to far? It's hard to do things. It's so hard. They try to do anything the way they think. There's this guy, he say good things. He say, look, in 30 years China or 50 years China, they never go to the war with any country. They never spend money in wars. They build the economy, they save. That is why they're so successful. America was in the war every here and there. Like maybe 30 years, they build maybe 10 or 20 wars there.
Wait, when you say wars, what do you mean, funding wars?
Yes, funding and fighting. Every war you fight is a cost, man.
But which wars did they fight?
Iraq. They fight in Afghanistan. They fight always, even before that, long time ago, they fight in Vietnam.
It's actually true.
They fight Iraq. All those their wars. All each was consumed. And they forgot even the people who your military, even though you say you win, but the mental sickness after the war even is worse. Do you know how many American kids who are disabled, who are mental sickness because of the war they passed through? No one said that, but that costs more money there. Those wars were unnecessary. That's why I think maybe they have to go to behind it anyway. There's no way they go to beat China because China never fight any war.
They don't fight wars, they stay quiet and build their economy.
But when you look, America, they keep saying, oh, you have to be careful. This China's got to attack us. This China's got to do things there. So they come to Australia, oh, you have to buy arms from us. You know, we have to protect from this Chinese, they may be attacking you. But what do? They sell Australia arms. They say, oh, we have to have a treaty. We have to do things. They go to other places, oh, look, you know, we have to sell. They use their power of mind, everything, by just selling the product. China is not going to attack anyone.
It's true, they're not. Why would China attack you?
Why? For what?
Even that thing with
They don't
TikTok.
have that mentality to be number one or to colonize other people. They come to do business with you. They can maybe trick you, but they're not going to fight you, because when they fight you, you lost. But they do deal with you. Say, okay, I give you 20, maybe they take 50 from you. That's it. That's all they do, and that is a business. That's how you negotiate.
They just go out and negotiate.
Mm.
You see, even when I went to Africa, the way Kenya, the way the Chinese there set things up, you know, Kenya borrow money from them. They come in, they do business. I went to Kenya, I saw Chinatown. I went to a Chinatown, Dad, and I was in Nairobi.
So have you been in Chinatown here?
Yeah.
Yes, so it's a similar
But
setup.
I was still, you know, China's a bit closer to Australia. I don't know, I was just to see that in Kenya, I just didn't expect it.
Yes.
The way it was, I was so impressed. The restaurants, the shops, it was like they come in and they just build.
Yes, that's what the power of a business. And that's how it is, and it's not good anything there. That is also, them also they use their power, especially in the mind to do business. They don't fight, they don't invade somebody else. They don't want to go into your business. They just come to do your business with you.
Americans, they like to go into other people's business.
Yes, other people's business. So they are just bullying, they do thinking the keep on taking. Is what they've been doing all the times. It's the same European, what they've been doing in Africa, everything they're taking away. You see, like what I was saying, this war. Look, like, see India and Pakistan. They are brothers. India and Pakistan, they are brothers, they are same country. I like to make this like a statement because it's so powerful. India and Pakistan, it's like brothers. They are one. They were one country. They divided because of their belief. That is agree. If somebody has this belief and somebody have different belief, it's okay. They are Hindus, Pakistan they are Muslim, and that they are powerful belief. We have to respect everybody's belief. But why they continue to be enemy? Why they need to be enemy? They could have different belief, but because they are brothers and sisters, they could even work a bit together. Because when you look at Pakistan itself, military is number one military. Pakistan has too many army.
Really?
Yeah, Pakistan is number one, I think. India is so powerful, so military. They have nuclear weapon, those two countries. I don't know why the America they allowed them to do it. Maybe because they know they're not going to stop them. They know they are powerful. They have all those arms there. And when you look, everything they have, agriculture, technology, they have huge. And there are many. Also they have labor, they send the labor everywhere. You go to find Pakistani or Indians everywhere in the world, in whole immigration around the world. But why they can't be? Not even to be together, just work together. They say, oh, they want to defend themselves. If they want to defend themselves, when they put together as militarily, no one is going to attack them. No one. If Pakistan put and India put the technology they have in the army, no one will attack them. Even China will not go to attack them. But guess what? Because there is poor mind. Poor mind, India is on the other side, most European side. French, they're the one who sell arms to India. See, maybe America, they're on their side. Now Pakistan is China's side.
Really?
Yes. See now, when they buy arms, they have to buy in China because China is in their whole side. And India, maybe they go to Europe because they protect themselves. But you see, they are spending their money to Chinese or to the European or to the American to be able to defend. But if they put together, not even do work together, they will be the most powerful union with two countries. Very powerful together. But why they can't do that? Because there is poor mind. They don't know it. They're smart, they're intelligent. They know if they put together, they're going to be stronger. They know it. This is not something you go to learn in university now. See, Germany was divided.
There was East Germany.
Yes, Germany. Because the white people use their mind. They decided to come together. But other ones, they don't become together. Why? Because this is what they have to supply you.
So the East Germany, West Germany thing, they didn't get along, or they split?
Yeah, it was divided because Russia it was controlling the East. Yeah. So now they have to bring Russia to leave East, and then they come together.
And they came together.
Yeah, but at least that time is okay because Russia it went. But this one, everybody's have his freedom. They are brothers. They share borders. They share everything. But the leaders, they can't say that. Let's we shake hands.
And war's always expensive.
Yes, it's something common sense. If they put together, who's going to attack them? None. China will not go to attack them if we can see they're together. But, and that's how it works. So I'm saying, poor of mind, especially is happening in African leadership, it's not anything else. It's a poor mind. People have money, have mineral, they have everything to be able to change. But we don't do it. It's the same action individually. See? Some people, if you want to go to drink every day, somebody also want to go to work, somebody got to do things there. See? Also our daily life, most we use the poor mind is what we get. See, when you use poor mind, you're not going to be successful. There's no way. Or to have a friendship that is so powerful. But that's why white people knows how to use their mind.
Like that's what I was going to say. You look at countries, Russia, all these. What do you think the What do you think the Europeans have done so well? Why are they like that?
Yes, but I would say that is wrong time ago. Also use the mind. They see ahead, and they colonize everybody there. They know the war doesn't pay. They know the war is destruction. That's the thing they start learning to do things there. But look, the war in Ukraine is not European who did much. It's American. American have been on the wars that all their life. That's only what they know. That's why they think that. It's not because of Europe. Europe, they didn't want to wish to have war in Europe.
But wasn't it Putin who started that?
Yes, but because they were invading him, they were bringing their arms to Ukraine.
So the Americans were giving arms to Ukraine.
Yes, they want him to become part of NATO. So NATO.
They wanted Putin to become part of NATO.
No, Ukraine to be part of NATO.
What is the benefit America if Ukraine be part of NATO?
Yes, because now is a part of NATO, so now they can be in Ukraine the way they want. They can bring their arms because America and Europe they are for NATO to attack Russia. So Russia doesn't like that.
They didn't want Ukraine, but Ukraine isn't Ukraine like their brothers?
Yes, like brothers.
But
so instead Ukraine said no to NATO, he said no, as let's go to you see another poor mind decision for a leader.
So they wanted do they also want Russia to be part of NATO?
No.
Why?
Because the reason they create NATO is to fight
Russia. Why?
Because it's communist and because they didn't get along together.
They haven't been getting along for a long time.
Yes, 4 years. That is World War, yes.
So they created NATO, so if we can form a pact with these other countries,
yes.
If Russia attacks anyone, we can all attack them.
because Russia can attack all those small countries there anytime. But now they've been taken to NATO, so if you become a member of NATO, when Russia attacks you, they attack the whole
And everyone. But why would Russia want to attack anyone? Why can't they just keep their own country and?
That's what they thought. That was their thing.
So you think it was a poor mind from Putin to go to?
No. For Ukraine to allow to the war. So you can say no to the war. You could say no, we don't need NATO now.
So hold on, you're saying Ukraine. So Ukraine could have said, well, did they maybe try to negotiate with Putin?
They didn't want to.
So what I'm saying is, did maybe when, let's say everyone wanted Ukraine to join NATO, could Ukraine go to Putin and say, hey, listen, they want us to join NATO, or Putin already knew that?
Yes, he already told them. They knew. Even them, they knew. Putin told them no.
Told Ukraine don't join
Yes,
NATO.
yes. Even America, they already promised Russia, Ukraine will never be member of NATO because it's the border with Russia. But they didn't care. They know what they were doing. They thought maybe Putin is not going to attack Ukraine.
And so whose mistake are you saying it was?
So if you're your country, why do you allow your country to have a war?
So what could have Ukraine done? Because if they
They
thought,
could have said we're not going to be member of NATO now. If you can see somebody's attacking you.
but maybe Ukraine thought we need to protect ourselves.
I don't know what it was.
Maybe they're thinking we need to
So,
protect
but
ourselves.
they're not protect themselves even when you look what is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that I'm saying poor mind. See, poor mind, you will know if you can protect yourself. You know how, if you are weak, you will know. Somebody who has power mind, you will know. But poor mind, you make wrong decision. And the wrong decision and the leaders is where bring consequence. Let's say everything's there.
So Ukraine then said, okay, we'll join NATO, and as they joined NATO, Putin said, okay, attack them.
Yes.
So what's happening right now?
Russia is winning.
So they're coming and invading them.
Yes, they already they took some part of Ukraine, the still wars there.
Wow.
So yeah, they have got to negotiate now soon because it's good Trump doesn't want more wars. Yeah, maybe they got to stop the war.
So yeah, because Trump was coming in and he doesn't want, it says, I've even seen interviews, he doesn't want that war. So someone like, what do? They can tell Ukraine, okay, don't join us, NATO.
Yeah, they will not join the NATO. That's how it is.
When
There's no need to do that, I think so.
when Trump was having that talk with Zelensky, do you remember what that was? Why were they fighting?
So they were saying they were giving more money, but now they don't want to give more money. So now they're telling him if he wants more money, he have to give them some their minerals, have to give them agricultural land. See,
Ukraine wanted more money, wants more money.
Yes,
To help.
for free, yes, because they've been sponsoring them that war, Americans. So, but now Trump they say no, you give this land, just mineral. So they want to say like how many billions in the land to take it. So now they can continue to support it. See, that's what I'm saying. America, they don't go in the war for free. So now that's what they want from the president. The president said no. This is everything land is for people for Ukraine.
Yeah, you're not coming to take.
Yes, they need to sign it and they take it. That's what they want. There's nothing else they want. So for when it comes to money, and that's all, the war is just about the money. They don't care about people. They don't care who's going to die. They don't care who's going to do thing there. Who care, Americans, how they care if someone died in Ukraine? Why do you allow the war in 2025?
Mm-hmm.
The war always going to be there. They sell guns, they make guns everywhere. All those guns, where they're getting from. Now you can see all Europe now is buying guns thinking they're buying them. But who are they buying them from? From America. There's no one else to supply those military arms. Everybody now is buying fighting jet, billions of billions. But sometimes they go to attack you anyway. And then even you lose, and then you have been even spending that money. Look how much money Ukraine have been spending there.
And under the Biden administration, they were obviously supporting Ukraine to fight back Russia.
Yes.
And the Biden administration, you think they could have worked to stop it? Or was it any?
Yeah, but they don't stop because they want a war. They want to test Russia, how strong it is. That's what they do. That's how they test. So they have to test their arms
to see if how Russia.
Yes, how Russia is strong. So they're testing it. Yeah, they may. So that's how. If you want to attack somebody, so that's how they do it. So they test it. They try to use their missile from Ukraine to attack Russia. So they were trying to see how Russia is very strong.
But what's America's beef with Russia? Because
even they're communists, they say they're communists.
So what's that got to do with them? What threat? Because Americans, they always have a fear of Russia. Even in the movies, they always put propaganda. Russia, it's always a bad negative image. Russia, even you mentally, like they psyop you mentally. I've always thought you think Russia, they're bad people.
Yes, that's what they do. It's just communism. Communism is different with capitalism.
But what does that have to do with America?
What do you mean?
That's their country.
It's the same why they colonize people. Why they killing everybody around them. So that's what they do. If they want to take somebody else, they do it because they can.
Because my thing is, if they're communism, okay, just leave them. That's how they want.
It's the same. China is also their communism. But they say you believe it. They don't want you to believe. You have to change to be whatever they feel to be. But that is the war of mind. It's the same. Every war is the war of the mind. What you believe, if you change it, you change it. If you're communist, who cares? You eat the same food. You are sick like anyone else. You have a problem like anyone else. But they keep doing it, but our life is still the same.
You think the life is the same for people who are communism and capitalism?
It's the same.
But isn't communism like no, it wouldn't be the same because there, if you go and live there, you can't. Isn't it? You can't earn. Everyone.
Oh, they earn whatever they earn. See, they do. They have their own houses. They have their own thing there. Maybe the government can have more like school. Even it's better. Communist life is better.
Why?
Because they have a school. They don't have. They don't need to have private school. People can go to the same school. Why do you need private school for? Before, school used to be governed by the government. People used to go to school. Everybody go to school. But they bring market to bring private school. Why? The government also, because they are weak, they should have built more public school than bring private school. But it's how they make their money. Capitalism. That's how they do. But it was working, yes. In China, China is more successful country and they are communism. What are you talking about? That's a simple example. In the last 30 years, a communist country, they changed a bit, maybe system, opening up the business. They have better life than middle class in America. Look how African America, they live in America. Look, people on the street, begging on the street. Go in China, you see how people live. Go in China last 30 years. You say, oh, you went, look everywhere you go to find Chinese. 30 years, they never go anywhere. 30 years, China never even traveled for holiday. 30 years you never found a fashion with Chinese brand. None. Where they came from? Communism. The school, the food they eat, the security, the medical. Do you think America have medical better than China? No, China has better. Communism was working for people. Capitalism worked for the corporate. That is the difference.
Wow. Communism works for the people.
Yes.
Capitalism works for the corporate.
And then the corporate control the government. But in China, the corporate, they can't control the government. Government always is power.
So under communism, you can like run your own business, grow it.
Yes, they do the business. But major bank, major institution, is run by the government. That is the difference.
Yes, it's true. Because the corporates, the banks, they're the ones who run the government.
Yes.
In the capitalism country, yes. The banking, those presidents they're serving the interests of the banks.
So like all these coups happening in Africa, it was organized by this corporate, those big companies. So because they want to continue to get product from Africa, raw material, cheap, they steal, they colonize them, and then when the government want to change, they attack them, or they throw the government. That's what they do. So people think it's the government. No, it's not the government. So those corporate who exploit the countries, for example, if it's America or if it's British, and then maybe they want to change to Chinese or to something there, so they overthrow the government. So that is what happening in Africa. So it's not the real government which does it, it's the cooperative do it. So that's what capitalism does. That is why capitalism had decided in America they want to send a job in China. It's the same in Australia. They decided we are going to close all factories.
In Australia?
Yes. Even in America. Mm-hmm. Even in Europe. Let's we send them to China. Who built China? Who built China? Do you think China it was just coming from zombie anywhere to go to steal in America their product? No. They give them everything. They give them technology. They say, well, you are poor, you do things.
Because we can get it cheaper.
Yes,
we can go
yes,
and we can
yes,
get the labor
yes,
cheaper
yes,
there.
Yes. They were thought China is going to continue to be labor for life.
Yeah, just work for them,
yes.
make this.
But they never knew China one is going to be the boss. Is going to be them any things you are talking about. Even the phone. Huawei is going to be better soon than iPhone. They keep working. They don't show off. They keep improving. They keep working. They keep working. They keep working.
And they do in silence.
That's how life is. Even though we see China is working, even if you go to Africa, look, go take sample of China, how we made it. No, let's still go to Europe, let's still go to America, and which the system doesn't work anymore.
Wait, what do you mean? Or they should be taking the system the way China have done it too.
If you want to improve in this day and time, you have to follow China
blueprint.
Because they done it. They done it, everybody's seen his eyes. Ask everybody the story, go back, you study China, or every time touring the airport, everything there, all those factories there. They never came to take anything. America give them everything. European give them everything. And no one else that they could have taken somewhere else. They could have come to Africa, they build infrastructure there, but they hate Africa. They've never wished Africa to be something there. They hate black in their guts to see when they become successful. It's where the raw material is. It's where everything is. No matter what people do, instead to take raw material, to take them there, you take the factory where the raw material is. It will be easier. But they can't do that. They can't make Africa be successful. They could have done it. They could have taken that labor to Africa. They build infrastructure, they build power, they build everything there. But no.
Because they could have done a similar thing with the Chinese. So,
Yes.
because if we have all the minerals, so instead they take they come to take the minerals and they build
They transport it, you know?
and then they build it there, or
Yes. No, they take whatever they build, whatever in China. Yes, that's what they do.
and then they give to the leaders. They do deals with
Yes,
the
poor
leaders.
mind. See, those leaders should have said, no, bring the factory here. We put here, we manufacture here, maybe we send the other ones overseas, but no. China, they go, they take whatever they want to take, and then they take overseas. Because they take it cheaper, it's transport is huge. It's the same what European does, it's the same what America does to Africa. So it's a simple. So the Western make China rich. Now what else they can do?
So one of the biggest powerhouses is China.
Yes. But they made it because they give them technology and then they buy whatever they made.
Even America's in debt to China. They even go and borrow money from them. Even Kenya, they go. I saw on the news that when William Ruto, the Kenyan president, he went to China. They said China now is the biggest. They've borrowed the most money from China. America, Trump stopped it. Now China is the highest debt they have than anyone before.
That's what I'm saying. America, what they are doing, they don't know what they are doing. They're still building China become more powerful every single day. China has investment everywhere in Africa, every country in Africa.
Do you think it was smart for Trump to stop loaning in Kenya so we can start having to stop relying on them?
Oh.
So when Trump came in office, he stopped loaning money. He came in office and he said, why are we loaning these guys this money? They don't even pay us back anyway. Yes, they can use their military, they can come in, they can use whatever they want from Kenya. But Biden, they were giving money, but Trump came in and stopped.
Yes, they have to put from somewhere else.
China.
Yes. But it's as if somebody keep giving you money, what you are his slave. That's what it is. You keep become slave if every time somebody giving this money. And that's what happened to Africa.
What are your thoughts on the president of Kenya? Because when I would talk about it in Kenya, young people, older people, it was very negative to Ruto. He's a liar. Is this and this? So, and then me now, because I've grown, I started to stop following the crowd, and sometimes I'm like, if the crowd, I've learned in life, when the crowd keeps going one place, I go the other. So I still don't know so much about it. What are your thoughts on from what you see of the Kenyan president?
So the Kenyan president have to go back. Yeah. So Ruto, the problem Kenya have, Ruto have been a president like maybe 2 years. So but Kenya have this similar problem for corruption for the whole 30 years. So what happened? Ruto became president from outsider.
What do you mean?
What I mean, it wasn't a child who everybody thought is going to be the president. Yeah. So there were people who were in the politics for a long time ago, before him, they were told they were going to be maybe to become president. So because he came the president from nowhere, so the opposition have is just personal issue. Is the head of the child come from outside, from his village, to this politician to infiltrate in the politics and to take the presidents of Kenya. That is what you can see. They hate him personally. It's not because he's not doing good job. He's not going anything there.
Because corruption's always been there.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So when you can see people talking about everything there, no one even see it, and the country is moving, economic was moving, there was no issue there, but everybody in the sitting group is saying, oh, he's a liar, is something there because of personal hater from the opposition. So that is what is the issue is there. And you see, is a poor mind. The people still against somebody they voted. And when you're against him, you are distracting the country to move forward.
To move forward.
Yes. They are poor mind. They are poor mind. So they are thinking they are distracting him. But they forgot. They are distracting themselves.
The country.
They are distracting the country. Instead to know, we voted this person for 4 years, let's receive whatever he does. The next election, we are not going to vote him. But they don't know that. They just talk, distracting in something, and nothing goes there. See, Africans, we are every single day still using poor mind in the politics, in the way they govern the place, in the way we deal with people. It's the same the day we deal with churches, we did all those things there. We lose our identity. We lose who we are. We lose the sense of just to be common sense. No common sense be using any things we do. Even those presidents, they just laugh, just beating people, just putting people in jail. It's just getting angry for nothing. But all those history is not because just the president has been there for maybe 2-3 years. No, it's something happening before.
And then the thing with, apparently they were saying that, you know, he murdered people from the riots, and that was a very big thing that's still talking about. A documentary was
Yes, but they knew when he was the president anyway. They knew when they voting him. They knew he done that. They knew everything they talk about now. They knew before it. If somebody become president and you voted him, let be president, his term finished. If you don't like, vote another one. I'm telling you, Australia is the best place where they punish politicians. It's not the country which does.
But I even just find this, even like you look at America, 4 years, one comes in with their new thing, remove 4 years, another one comes in, like changing.
Yeah.
Does this even work?
Of course, it doesn't work, but sometimes you make peace of mind. You make at least if they want, they can make work, but they don't want to make it work for their own reason, their own selfish reason. Otherwise, they can. Before it used to work.
What do you mean?
Before you see, like when they do these wars, even if they change the government, the wars continue anyway. So for them, much thing they continue to do, especially foreign policy, will continue. It doesn't matter who comes in. See, it's good. See, people even make noise. Trump 4 years is good. He was 4 years. What did happen? He came, he goes. Biden is there. What did he do? He was. And this one also, time. People think time is not time to anyone. 4 years goes, he goes. And people, your life doesn't change. Even now we're talking about it. We spend like whole a year, 1 hour to talk, maybe 15 minutes about American politics. But they come, they go. The life continues. Kenya is going to continue to be Kenya. America is good. The land is for God. Everybody will come go. Everybody will come go. That is just one way. You can distract it for 5 years. You can do something there, but the time comes, and you go. All those like in a bush, they are old now. No one know where they are. They are sitting in their houses. Maybe they don't even listen. They are death, or maybe they are old. They are zombie until they die. You see,
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever bad things they did is done.
So it's pushed, yeah, another time.
Yeah, they are there somewhere in their houses. They're thinking there. Yeah. They are waiting until they die, and then they do like those funerals, huge funerals, spend millions for people for what? Hmm? That's how system work. Can you change that system? Yes. But that's how we go to say people, if we go to think capitalism is going to be more better than communism, they are lying themselves.
It's actually, I think this is the type of history I think will be made for Rubasha Family Podcast, like this type of conversation that people don't think about. Because even when you were talking, I said, yeah, I'm like, you know, even I've been taught to grow up, communism is a bad thing, but I never really like paid attention to that. Just it's bad. Then that's what America do so well is the marketing, the media, the corporates, they know how to propaganda people.
In 30
Russia are bad, the Chinese they're bad,
in 30
communism is bad.
In 30 years, Australia built only one airport. We're still building, we finish next year, 2026. China built 30.
But they have more people.
I'm saying 30. Count that number.
China have more people.
Yes. When you remember, go there, look their train. Faster train. Everything is working. As you insult it, communism is bad. And you can see countries working.
Very wrong.
You can see people, they are coming from the poverty to success. Every time people see them. But people don't believe it. Because the Chinese, they don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to say whatever thing they. No. That is the European style. That is American style.
British.
Yes, to show we are like this, taking everything they put their name on it.
Another question, last one. Brexit. I was talking to someone. Do you think with the Brexit, is that the strong mind of British to say we don't want to be part of Europeans, we're strong by ourselves? Was that a good move from them, or what do you think about that?
No, it wasn't a good move economically, but it's again supremacy.
Supremacy.
Yes. Why do we need to continue to have issue with Europeans? We are not Europeans.
Why
So
should
they've
we
been fighting the Europeans since all the times.
So even though they were together.
So the history, Spain, it was the richest country. Spain was better than British. British, they didn't have any money. Spain, they were exploring, go everywhere, now exploring everywhere. So what the British did, they started attacking Spanish ship, stealing them. So now that's how they make their money, by stealing Spanish ship. So they form a government which was stealing to build their own.
So they were going to steal from the Spanish ships.
Yeah, that's how they become powerful.
So if you take the ships, we can now go to.
No, they have like everything there. Because also they were stealing from all those gold from everywhere, South America, everywhere. So now they can hijack them, and then they steal everything they have. So that's how they build their thing. So they've been fighting. They fight with French. Yeah, they fight a huge war, French. And now they make peace. But those war continue. So always they have that conflict, but because the power of mind, they settle the war, they divide the colony, and then they live in peace.
So we say, okay, EU.
Yes,
Like,
so
peace.
before the EU came in. So now AU came in later, but because it was just to make Europe to become one stronger.
So that was like, okay, we've made peace, okay, now, and then now they brought EU, so EU was one. So then why do you think
Yes,
now?
it was. So now to remove it is just one mind.
So the British then later said, wait a minute.
So majority British wanted it.
EU.
Yes, EU. There's one guy, I forgot his name, Nigel Farage. When he saw the EU, he didn't like it. Yeah, so he continued to campaign to take away from EU. But again, America always is behind. America like to dividing people. So America, that's why they didn't like Europe, because there's the wars they wanted it to do. Now France and Germany, they were against it. I think there's a war they attack. I don't know. Is it Afghanistan? I don't know a country they attack. And then Germany and French, they didn't send their arm. So, and that's why, because the British only, I think is Iraq or something there. I can't remember which country, where America and British and some few European went to support. So the other Europeans refused. So that's where the conflict started. Yeah, because Europe was not going to continue to come with them to the wars.
But did the British join the Americans?
Yes, and I think it was Afghanistan maybe. Yeah, I think it was Afghanistan. So after Iraq war, they want to attack Afghanistan, I think. And the French and Germany, I think they didn't like it, they didn't send their military there. So now the British and America, they were there. So now that is created that trust between. So that is why they really want to come out from the EU to be their own. So that is the most reason for me I can think about it. But again, for economics, for the transport, for it's a disaster they made it for the British. They should not have done it, but they did it. But everything goes well now. They're with America and Australia and British.
America, Australia, British, and
that's all they wanted.
Yeah. Who wanted that? British or America?
Yeah. America, they like dividing people.
But even I thought also America, they also want to divide the royal family, or they want to infiltrate the British.
Always they are there. They haven't stopped that, but always those things be backbone. But militarily, they are together.
Wow, crazy. This was an amazing conversation. Powerful stuff.
But you see, all those things we talk in our mind is about you. So it's not some things we read or some things we have to see, but it's how reality it is, and it's how the war is created by men. Yeah. So always thought, oh, why there should be war? No, it's men who create the war, and always they want the war. That is why the war happens. If you don't want to fight, you don't want to fight. It's the same Ukraine. If America or Europe, they say you don't have anything, how they was going to fight? But they lied to him, we're going to give you everything. We're going to give you money, we're going to give everything. Do you know even those arms they're buying? Ukraine military, they are selling them to other countries around the world. They didn't. It was smuggled arms now.
So they buy America sell them the arms?
No, give them for free, and then the Ukraine sell them to other people.
But why do they sell them when they need them?
It's a business.
But they need them. They're getting attacked from Russia.
That's how you know how life is. That's how life is.
So they're getting them, then they're selling them.
Yes.
They need the money.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yes, you're losing the war. People think to be in this world always you have to be honest. No.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. We will see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
I think because it went over 1 hour. Oh no, it's too long. I don't like that. Alright, I'll do a video for Instagram and then we should be good to go.